computer. Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of John and Reese Chat Music. My name is Reese, and this is my brother. His name is
John.
Boom, sick. And we are, we're just shooting the shit, having a good time. He just put on a hat it makes him look a lot better. I don't have a hat. Nasa, man. We love Nasa. Yeah, and so essentially what we wanted to just share our love of music with y'all. And John and I we both listened to some funny tracks, and so just wanting to share those with y'all and hope you enjoy the music that we like as well. Before we get into that though, John, I know you've been, your week, you were telling me about a 500-pound table saw that you were moving. Tell us about that.
Oh yeah, it was, so I've gotten into like carpentry, and so I was like, oh man, a tool that's probably pretty useful is a table saw. So I went out and got a table saw that's just like a countertop one, and like then I realized like, oh man, this is not actually what I need. And so I went out, got like a nice cabinet saw, and it barely fit in the back of the Subaru. Like you could see the Subaru and fortunately it came in multiple boxes, but trying to get it down the stairs into the basement was just its own thing. I had to set up, I had to wear like a climbing harness and set up a belay, and it was a whole ordeal. It took probably 3 hours, 4 hours.
Yeah, a lot of effort. And what you gonna make with it?
Man, so right now I'm finishing up some nightstands for my wife and I, and then lots more things. I mean, I bought a bunch of extra stock, so I got a huge couple boards that are pretty thick.
You're pandemic ready. You'll be fine.
People started baking. People started doing their own sort of stuff. Carpentry is what I leaned into. But,
it's funny. It makes me think. One of my friends it's like, what is he building right now? He's building a boat, which is sick. What are you building? A nightstand. You're building like a little like town nightstand. I know. We are excited. In a future episode, we will see that, and it's gonna be sick.
I'll be able to share it. Boats are next level. Oh my god, I can't imagine.
It's gotta be all curved and stuff.
You gotta not let water in, man.
It's gotta be curved. It's gotta not let water in.
Where it's like a nightstand, it just has to not fall over.
Yeah, exactly. Don't be the Leaning Tower of Pisa. That's funny. Well, let's thank you for sharing that. Let's get into it. I think so. This is experimental. So first I'm gonna share my screen here. And John, can you see my screen?
Sure can. Classic.
This is a classic question. Yeah. This is a radio show. So we're gonna chat about HAIM at the beginning. Then we're gonna chat about a genre of music that we like to call texture music. And then we're gonna do a little bit of lyric stuff with our boy J-Zone, and then just listen to some other tracks at the end. So that's roughly what we're looking like. We'll share this on the YouTube link or whatever if you want to get the playlist yourself. But I'm gonna stop sharing and then go over and click the share screen, advanced sharing. Oops. I'm gonna click share screen. And then I'm going to click advanced, and then I'm going to click music only. Beautiful. And let's just check here. So can you hear that, John?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And we'll see how the volume is for both our listeners or let's just actually, again, test that out. Sorry, listeners. We tested this a bit, but, we're testing it one more time. So bad when I was in the moment. Well, I didn't understand. Yeah. I feel pretty good for me too. Let's try it at this volume, and we'll see if
wing it.
Yeah, I'm thinking actually. Let me do this. Actually, I'm gonna put this a little bit up. Put it more like that. You can still hear me if you need to, right? Can you still hear me? Yeah. And this is just a little bit louder if I want to pump it. I can pump it. I'm actually gonna go. Just doing the whole thing. It's about the music. It's not about us. I can do this if you want to be a little bit louder. Sweet. So, let's start this HAIM.
It might be worth. Did it unplug itself? I can't hear you because it's. I can't hear you. No, you're gone.
Oh, can you hear me now?
I sure can.
Okay, what were you saying?
I was just saying it might be worth actually just turning it down just a
A
little.
little bit. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like this action. Okay, I turned it down a little bit. You can't see my screen, but I turned it down a bit.
Perfect.
Beautiful. So yeah, this HAIM album, man. I mean, it's this new HAIM album, Women in Music Part 3. You know, we're into a new feminization of society. It's great. And John, you've been listening to this album. I've been listening to this album. What do you think about it?
Well, I mean, so I remember you mentioning this album like kind of like right after it came out, and you're like, dude, listen to this album. I'm like, all right, like, HAIM's fine.
I'll put it in the queue. I'll put it in the queue.
Exactly. I've been listening to like some other stuff that I've been jamming on, like 100 Gex and other things like that I was sort of diving deep into, and then kind of forgot about it. And then I think I was like reading back through some of our old texts or something just to like find something. I was like, oh yeah, you might as well throw it on. I was just wanting to do. And then like I was actually woodworking, and I was downstairs, and I was just listening. I was just like, this is fucking solid, just like everything. And like, yeah, I think the thing that gets me most, like, obviously, like, they've been playing together for a while. I think they're like really well in sync, but her vocal melodies are just like on point. And it's just like, they're interesting, they're catchy as fuck. Like,
it's catchy. The whole thing is just so catchy. It's just
so catchy, but it's unique. The thing is, it doesn't feel monotonous, and
it doesn't feel like a pop album that's just like hitting you with like the catchiness, you know?
Yeah, it's not like 1989 or something like that, where it's just like super catchy, really solid, but kind of flat.
It's pop.
Yeah. But yeah, man. I mean, I listened to that whole album, and I found myself just being like, in the middle of it. I texted you in the middle of it. I was like, dude, this album is fire.
Yeah. So good. Once you an album where you text to your friend like the first time, that's a good thing. And we were chatting about how it's similar to almost all the tracks are just really high quality. So let's actually just get into some of them now. So we're gonna hit up 4 tracks here, and we're gonna start with the chillest one maybe, which is Don't Wanna. And we're gonna play like a minute of it. So let's give it a try out.
Ooh, you did me so bad when I was in the moment. Well, I didn't understand. Ooh, yeah, you did me so harsh. Left me low with my high heels in the parking lot. Always thought I'd see it coming, but I don't. Gotta leave the engine running in the front seat in my mama's winter coat. I don't wanna give up on you. I don't wanna have to. When we both had nights waking up in strangers' beds, but I don't wanna.
Yeah, good little jam. I love the that like the like guitar happening. Yeah, the bass line actually kind of feels guitarish.
Yeah.
In the background as it's going down with the Don't Wanna part is really nice.
Yeah. I mean, and the Don't Wanna part is, I feel like it's just, its cadence is so like
yeah.
It's expected, but then like it just rings true, man. And
it's kind of nice and slow. The interesting thing with the song too, we don't listen to lyrics too much, John, right? But that one's about, I don't want to give up on you. Like, we've been spending nights sleeping in other strangers' beds, but like I'm still on it. Yeah, that's the cadence. I don't wanna pause, give up on you. Yeah. All right.
Also, the nice thing too is that it does like sort of a class. I remember one of your buddies, Zach Solsky, he always mentioned that I think great music is what was it, like, familiar but unpredictable, something along those lines. And I feel like that's very similar to the song, where like she goes through, that sort of initial part of the chorus, and then she, like the second part of the chorus feels almost exactly the same, but there's some uniqueness to it, and then like sort of the pacing kind of changes a little bit. So I feel like that to me sort of connects the dots right there really well.
That's what you want. You want those little bits of bit of ad. So let's play this All That Ever Mattered track, and this is one that's did not make my songs for self, but is a great jam, and it maybe will make John's songs for self.
Almost certainly, yeah.
With some nice Grimes vibes. So let's check this out.
Ooh, when I look in your face, when I look in your eyes.
Nice
This is not what you wanted. You never liked surprises. It's not about them or what they think we do. I never cared about what they said, they only cared about me. And that's something that you can like. You know I've never been that type. I never cared about this life. Cause if you took it away, all that ever mattered was you, baby. All that ever mattered was you. And I guess you never knew.
Yeah.
Ooh, just yeah, man, love that track.
I mean, for me, the I think that a lot of it is, or I think that some of it's fine, but the yelling, just a great, and this is a nice thing that's just becoming more in society with folks like Grimes, whatever, just adding weird yelling stuff. It's like, you know, this piece here is so nice. Like, that's great. You want that, you know?
Totally. And yeah, I mean, it sort of just, I think maybe it just translates that sort of the emotive nature of screamo, and it kind of makes it maybe a little more approachable. But it sort of keeps that sort of energy.
Yeah, you don't need to be screamo to scream anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, there's another track I was listening to recently. It was oh man, JPEG Mafia featuring somebody, but it had something super similar to that. It was just, you know, especially, I think it's becoming more and more common with female artists.
Yeah.
But it's yeah, like, yeah, the woman that was featured was just like very emotive, and it just added so much to the track.
So it was last, because in this one it's interesting because it's more of just like a stab, like a.
Well,
in that one, it sounds like it was more of like a you. Was it more like that?
It was kind of. It was sort of. It wasn't used quite as much as like an instrument in you know, as we see here in this song, but like it was. It had very, very similar vibes.
Yeah. And it's nice to even angry, aggressive. It's nice. It's nice to see women portrayed in different ways, you know, in the music. Alrighty, we're gonna listen to Summer Girl here.
There when I close my eyes, so hard to reach. Your smiles turn into crying, it's the same release. And you always know, and you always know that I'm your summer girl. I'm your summer girl. I'm your summer girl. I'm your summer girl.
Such a good, easy sing-along. Yeah, I mean, that one is this one is cheating because it's like, she says, "I'm your summer girl" just 4 times, which is amazing. I'm your summer girl. And then the do's, that's easy to sing along too as well. Do. So yeah, rinse and repeat.
I think this one, it taps into just sort of the I don't know if Americana is the right term, but retro sort of feel that this album has across the board, where it's not really. There are very few moments in which it sort of like pushes the limits from from a Sonic's perspective. Yeah. Like, it's very retro. And I feel like this song is just like leans hard into that, you know, like the horns, the sort of like groovy little
feels like it was made in the late 60s, early 70s, kind of you know, Summer Girl vibes or whatever.
Totally. yeah, I think I think another thing to notice with like all these tracks is that they all feel different, man. And I think they've definitely got, because there's a lot of albums you'll listen to and it'll just feel like it'll feel good. I think actually oh man, what's that New Zealand band? They oh god, Tame Impala. Yeah, Tame Impala. Like their most recent album was like, the thing is like I dig the sound they have for 5 minutes.
Yeah, no, we don't need it 60 minutes on repeat.
Yeah, and maybe I just can't like dive in enough to appreciate it enough, but I feel like this is an album where you don't get that sort of fatigue. And it's like the pacing changes, some of the instrumentation changes.
I think that's interesting. I think that part of that might be our own bias. I mean, something like the Tame Impala, it's just, it feels just like reverby for 60 minutes, is the vibe. And I think that maybe someone who's not as excited by this music might say something, but I agree. We've listened to other albums that are like this like, singer-songwriter pop with now electronic stuff and, acoustic guitar plus electronic. And it can feel, just repetitive throughout the album. But this one, almost a little track, adds a nice thing. This next one is, I think, my favorite track on the album. Now I'm in it, and it's just a 80s, and you'll hear the in the background the entire time. So let's just...
Looking in the mirror again and again, wishing the reflection would tell me something. I can't get a hold of myself, can't get out of the situation. Walking in the street line, thinking about last time. This time I said I would do this right, said I would never break this promise. But now I'm back to counting on us. We cannot be friends, cannot pretend that it makes sense. We cannot be friends, cannot pretend that it makes sense. 'Cause now I'm in it, but I've been trying to find my way back for a minute. Damn, I'm in it, and I've been trying to find my way back for a minute. Looking all the things in my house, I'm alone in my head. But I wish you were in my bed. Can't get a read on myself. Gotta change the situation.
Yeah, good. And then just super driving, so driving. You couldn't even hear. We'll go to the very end here for a second. This is just the bridge, and they don't take too much time. They just do little stuff. They do little chill vibes here, and then. The drum.
Now I'm in it, and I've been trying to find my way back for.
Yeah. What were you saying? So it's just driving.
Super driving. Yeah, and good. It also, I think this again returns to like her vocal melodies. Take a lot of these songs that would normally just been like, fine, and make them exceptional.
Anybody can make it driving, but
totally, it's a great track.
Is that your favorite song on the album? Or what's your favorite song on the album?
I think my favorite song on the album is, what is the name of the first track again?
The first track is Don't Wanna.
Don't Wanna is great. I think it's probably Don't Wanna, or the second one that we played. But
now I'm in it. It's cool because you can hear, and this is the 80s, like a song, the one that we just listened to, Summer Girl, is more of the like late 60s, early 70s vibe. This one's more 80s Blondie vibe of just like, and just the driving. So pretty amazing. And I love all this
kind of like sonics.
I love all these things. We got 324, 325, 322, 231, Just Perfect. Keep it short, keep it simple.
Exactly, dude.
Okay, sick. So everybody listen to that HAIM album. We love it. HAIM, we love you. If you ever want to come on the show, let us know. We're here.
Tell us about how you made this awesome album.
Exactly. And now we're going to check out some texture music. So genres. There's a big there's a lot of genres of music, and actually, you know what? I think this is worth a little quick exploration here. So there's we're gonna show the viewers. We don't. Yeah, you know what? We're already halfway there. We're gonna show them the Every Noise at Once thing, just to show them, hey, there's a lot of genres out there. And
a lot of music, turns out.
turns out there's a lot of music, and we need to show it to you. You know what? We don't need to show it to you. There's a lot. There's a lot. I had them all psyched up. Go to everynoise.com. There's 4,000 different genres on there. It's cool. And the one that we're going to listen to today is called texture music. And this is music where it's headphone music, right? And it's ones where they've really tried to explore all the different little sounds that you can add. And also it's like connected to nature in ways.
It's almost like, I think ASMR kind of has a sort of, it's a similar kind of, it's like incredibly clear, like almost too clear in some instances.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you'll hear like, there are a couple more popular people, using elements of it, but when you go
a lot of like
it,
a lot of the new, and this is just like good pop music will have a really well sounded clap, or really good snare, like and this is kind of that's texture music, but
take that shit extreme.
So let's listen to this first one. It's called Sorry for Not Answering the Phone, I'm Too Busy to Fly Away by In Love with a Ghost. Little bird action,
Where'd you get that sample from?
So you get the vibe there. It's a 2-minute song. That was a minute of it. Yeah. What are you thinking?
In my mind, I just can't help but think of just like sort of Hollywood Foley artists. This is what they do with their free time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Getting out, going to some like Oregon backyard garden or whatever, and just sort of like putting a microphone next to stuff. Open the gate.
Come over here, birdie. Come over here, birdie. Come back.
Roll the like a coffee cup or some sort of it just and then they end up in the studio with a keyboard and a fucking pitch mug.
Yeah, and they have like their track, which is they were out there for 8 hours, so they're listening to it. They're like, oh, it's a nice wind noise, I'll add that to my wind noise folder. It's like, you already have 450 wind noises, man. I don't know if you need more wind noises.
But it's unique to that experience.
Yeah. I think that, and I mean, I like hearing. Birds are often a thing that happens, and then it's really cool just hearing the like I don't even know like what are these things,
Well, that's why I think that's why it's like Foley artists. You sort of just like picking up stuff and then bring it in, make some modulation to it. I almost think some of it is like I get a very like pottery.
I was gonna say tea set,
or something that's in like a what are lots of words, like coffee or like a flower pot or something like that.
The clink clink. There's like a little bit of a clink clink noise. There's also some like machine shop vibes with like that.
like almost like a spring, like Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's cool they add, I mean, the layers, as you know, when you're here, there's just a lot of, there's a good amount of layers.
You love your layers. This reminds me a lot of the music that you make.
Yeah,
where you got the piano, and then you sort of put another piano on top of it, add a melody, and then just build. And it's fun because you can you get familiar with whatever's going on then, and it's like, oh, cool, something new, and then
a little plus action. Why take away anything?
Exactly.
I also like,
I don't know, maybe for pacing.
For pacing, that would be helpful. I like how this one has when the bass comes in. This one, it's pretty good. Just like a boom, with the drum beat. It was kind of a nice added a little bit of, and that's the only like non-Foley stuff. It also reminds me, we could go deep on a lot of texture things, but I just want to share one other one, which is some of the early, and this is like, talking about Foley stuff, this song by Steve Reich called Slow Motion Blackbird. And it just, yeah, so. Messing with just blackbird noises, and then really, and this is a 6-minute song. We're at 2 minutes now. It's like same. I mean, I like it.
Yeah.
It's 4 minutes.
I mean, yeah. Love the. I mean, I think the thing is it's almost like cheating. You have sort of like a string section, like underneath things. You can pretty much put anything on top of it, and it'll sound somewhat cinematic and like pretty digestible. Yeah, I mean, it sounds nice.
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight it as like some of the earlier precursors to texture music of, just especially birds. Birds are you got a lot of birds in texture music. So with that has been our exploration into the texture. Go.
Well, I was going to say this reminds me somewhat of like, it's not exactly the same. It's kind of, it's probably closer to like pogo. But not really the same kind of feel. But there was a song that I made. I think I shared it with you. I recorded some sounds at a like local coffee shop that I like frequent, and this particular day there was a person who'd come in and start causing havoc, a ruckus, and but I got some great stuff in there. You sort of had this like. It was full of texture. You still had like the coffee shop sounds and all that sort of stuff, but then I put like a very heavy synth over the top of it, and it may be a little too much, but it kind of maybe was inspired by some of that.
Foley vibes for sure, but yeah, it is. When I think of texture music, the whole goal of it is it's usually doesn't have a beat. It doesn't have. Any intense sense or whatever, and so it's just purely the texture. So in any case, yeah, that's a good track though. Check out John Lindmark on SoundCloud or whatever.
I don't think I've literally put anything on the internet.
Yeah, that makes sense.
For everybody's own good.
We're gonna do some a thing on lyrics now, and this is our boy J-Zone, and J-Zone is this hilarious rapper who has, and I'm pulling up the lyrics now so people can actually maybe see him if they want to, that J-Zone, it's trap lyrics. He's amazing because J-Zone is this like older man. He's 30 years old, 35 years old, but he's responding. This album is called The Peter Pan Syndrome. And it's all about him saying, wow, ain't nobody got the lyrics for this on the interwebs. You can listen to it when you listen to it. It's an amazing album because it's talking about like how people are trying to tell him, grow up, man. Like, don't be a rapper anymore. You're too old for that. And he tries to grow up and like enter the corporate bureaucracy. He's like, oh, this sucks too. So that's the album, and the song is the start of it all, and has some great gospel vibes. So let's check it.
Good evening, congregation. If the truth was a baby Ruth, I'd be working up in the Candace stove. But today I go by the Reverend Real Talk, and I'm up in here. Yes! Collection plate is making his rounds about the church. Your contributions best fold, not jingle. Thank you. Cletus, turn that goddamn organ off. You know we ain't paid electric bill. The subject of today's sermon is growing up is for underachievers. Exodus chapter 11, 20-1734.
Take them home now.
13.
Tell it.
Number 1, death is inevitable. Number 2, discussing Tupac and Biggie in a black barbershop or ending gunfire. Number 3, nothing is more responsible for misery than the sound of one's biological clock ticking. So as I reached that miserable circus of mediocrity, known as my 30s, I began to listen to the talk. If you're still having fun doing whatever the fuck you want to do as an adult, it's time to grow up and walk the walk. Fuck dreams, get a real job. Settle down, stop taking risks, where's your pride? Be responsible, don't make waves. Follow the rules, assimilate. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps and come on over to the grown folks side.
Goddamn, that boy good.
So I did it. And now, I'm French kissing mediocrity in the back of the sloth mobile. In other words, my shit is fucked up.
Give me the script, Lord.
Yeah. So that's the vibe with that. What did you think?
Oh, I mean, it's just we've been listening to this track for a long time.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
incredible. I mean, it's just it's so relatable, and but it's also again unique. I think it's the thing that I sort of like connect with a lot. But he's saying things in ways that you don't normally hear them. You're like, oh my god, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I love for me that just him being there talking about it's just the vibes of like him preaching from the gospel thing. It just has it just sets up the scene in a funny way. You're like, oh, I'm gonna listen to music, and you're like, no, you're actually gonna listen to this guy from the pulpit. And then hilarious guy, if truth was a Baby Ruth, I'd be working up in the candy store.
Your contributions best folded, not jingled.
Yeah, that's so funny. Fold them. Just turn that goddamn organ off. We ain't playing the electric bill. Yeah, it's funny, and he's self-aware of his own sermonizing in the album. And then I love the thing at the end where he's like, and I did it, and you know what happened? I'm French kissing mediocrity in the back of the sloth mobile.
Yeah. Perfect.
So funny. Let me just check.
Society tells us to fit, so on my lunch break, I'm fitting the within the company. But at least I can say I'm grown, playing it safe. Punk. So if my life sounds good to you.
Yeah, it's good. So it's just a quick little 2-minute, 30-second track. And John, I don't listen to lyrics that much, but that's an example of the lyrics that we love.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's maybe because it just takes front and center.
It's very front and center.
We mostly hear or consider the voice
the tonal
instrument.
Yes.
Yeah, not the content.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think in this case, obviously, Jason he's preaching the gospel, man.
Preaching the gospel. He's underrated. He only has like 10,000 plays on Spotify, which is so sad.
God.
Isn't that crazy? All of his top songs, 20, 24,000, 33,000, 18,000.
So y'all get out there. You listen to him day
J-Zone.
in, day out.
J-Zone. And if you're out there, J-Zone, feel free. We'd love to have you on the show. So
constant plug.
Constant. So now we're going to play just 5 tracks, and maybe I think it'll be fun to have John kind of rank them at the end.
I haven't heard these tracks before.
He has not heard these tracks before, and we're just going to play them, a minute of each. These are songs that I have recently put on my Songs for Self, and I'm listening to a lot of world music recently, so these are going to be more world music-y. And let's just start it up with this Jungla de Asfalto, the concrete jungle.
Los petres en rascacielos para ver quién sí cae primero. Todo lo que quieres en 24 horas. Si pagas dinero, cemento roto, escorpios, abandonados los emporios. Amazon Premium, nueva fuerza mundial. Bonito y barato, no dormimos, no, nunca. Somos nocturnos. Una de asfalto. droga, corriendo locos para cantar. Morir es de ser.
Yeah, so that's that one. What do you think?
That sounds so much like a cover. It's something in the chorus. Like whatever that syncopation is, and kind of like how it's delivered, sounds like a cover. I mean, maybe it's because
We don't think it is, but we're not sure. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, solid. I think I know. There's an interest. It does that sort of like kind of like 3/4 kind of vibe, and because in the beginning it's like sort of like triplets or whatever, but it still is in 4/4, and I think you appreciate it more than I do, but the weird rhythms, and I think this weird rhythm works really well.
That's interesting. I don't hear it as a weird rhythm song, but let me.
Que cielos para ver quién sí cae primero.
Oh, you're talking about
Todo
the,
lo
like, the
que
picking.
quieres en 24 horas. Si pagas.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just triplets across.
Yeah, I think it's just triplets. But it's cool.
Yeah.
What do you think of I love the it's an acoustic version of the main song or whatever, and so I just love the like.
Nunca somos nocturnos.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, they just add at the beginning. It's just a like a string instrument, boom, boom, and then later it adds a little shaker, and then later when you get in the full chorus, it has a tambourine. I think that's well done. And then the other thing I love, we just heard it, is there's like the Taylor Swift yell in the background. Did you hear that? Let me play it again.
Las calles de esta libertad, no tenemos miedo a evitar.
No. Yeah, great. And then the final one. Did you hear the weird pitch shifted stuff at the very end?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, let's just play that for the.
Becos en paredes, quemamos las drogas, corriendo locos para cantar.
Classic. It's always fun hearing that.
Sick. All right, so that's the first one. That's the first track by Ao-Ra. Okay, let's check out. Okay, let's play this next one. This next one, not to bias you, but it's probably my favorite. It's the one that the first time I listened to it, I was like, oh, this thing's gotta go on. So let's check it. It's called Amar Elo.
Presentemente eu posso me considerar sujeito de sorte, porque apesar de muito moço, me sinto são e salvo e forte. E tenho comigo pensado, Deus é brasileiro e anda do meu lado, e assim já não posso sofrer no ano passado. Tenho sangrado demais, tenho chorado pra cachorro. Ano passado eu morri, mas esse ano eu não morro. Tenho sangrado demais, tenho chorado pra cachorro. Ano passado eu morri, mas esse ano eu não morro. Ano passado eu morri, mas esse ano eu não morro. Ano passado eu morri, mas esse ano eu não morro.
Eu sonho mais alto que drones, combustível do meu tipo, a fome, pra arregaçar como um ciclone, pra que amanhã não seja só um ontem, com um novo nome, o abutre ronda ansioso pela queda. Fim do mágoa, mano, sou mais que essa merda. Corpo, mente, alma, tipo Ayurveda. Estilo água, eu corro no meio das pedras. Na trama, tudo os dramaturgos, sou um dramaturgo. Conclama se afastar da lama enquanto inflama o mundo. Sem melodrama, busco grana, isso é usando em curso. Capulanas, katanas, busca nirvana, é um recurso. É o mundo cão pra nós, perder não é opção, segue. De onde o vento faz a curva, brota o papo reto. Não deixo quieto, não tem como deixar. deixa quieto. A meta é deixar sem chão quem riu de nós sem teto.
Tenho sangrado demais, tenho chorado pra cachorro. Ano passado morri, mas esse ano eu não morro. Tenho sangrado demais, tenho chorado pra cachorro. Ano passado morri, mas esse ano eu não morro.
Belchior tinha razão. Figurino.
Yeah, what did you think about that one?
It started out pretty boring.
Slow at the beginning.
Yeah, you know, but I mean, it's is it a feature?
You mean, does it have folks featured in it?
Yeah.
It has at least 3 artists, and it says sample something else. So I think one song is something's from I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, like I think you love not that initial transition, unexpected, and like I think it saved.
Yeah. I mean, the length at the beginning. I mean, we were 2:12 into this. You know, I should all things considered. Like I should have started. This is 45 seconds into it now. You know, the boom boom, the heartbeat here is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Eu sonho mais alto
Not
que
bad.
drones.
It's like, okay, we're gonna rap now.
Combustível do meu tipo,
It's like a
a
cool, like,
fome pra arregaçar como
And
ciclone.
then, what do you think
Pra
of
que
the
amanhã
like
não
the
seja
chorus?
só momento. Não deixo quieto, não tem como.
Passado morri, mas tenho chorado.
Não deixo quieto, não tem como deixar quieto. A meta é deixar sem chão quem riu de nós sem teto.
Tenho sangrado demais, tenho chorado pra cachorro.
With the like,
Ano passado morri,
that.
mas esse ano eu não morro. Tenho sangrado demais, tenho
yeah. What so what do you think of the chorus?
I mean, of course, I think anything with that sort of like relatively driving bass drum beat is going to be pretty like fun to play with. I don't. It's good.
So you got, but yeah, we got a
Yeah.
meth. We got a meth there. Yeah, that's
I
fine.
prefer the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, you, and again, you can maybe with time, everything will be
Maybe.
tasty. Okay, let's play this third one. A lot of these songs, or some of the ones, I think the top one, I've been listening to some songs from Montreal. So I think this next one's from Montreal. It's called Les Hoyliers. Let's check it out.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Qui sera le temps dans le rose à
I love the
l'horizon?
French. Just
Qui sera l'orage dans la
Just generally.
prose du vent? Quand s'épanchent les présages qui lira la tradition. Et quand j'aurai 3 fois mon âge qui s'en balancera pour de bon. Je sais que c'est pas vrai, l'âge n'a pas d'or. Et si on devenait joyeux d'années-lumière, de vieillard à mine d'or, de vieillard à mine d'or. À quand les vieux qui poussent dans les jardins d'enfants et qui tracent la grande ours devant des yeux grands, de vieillard à mine d'or, vieillir sans être vieux. On court après le
yeah. What do you think of that one?
Yeah, man, I mean, it's always fun listening to French women. But
Yeah, honestly, though.
it's the thing is, when I compare it to like I think about like Christine and the Queens, like I much prefer her sort of stuff because this is fun. It's fine, and I think it's I think there was like that sort of like background vocal track that was like or like in the like right at the very end of the first verse. That was fun.
Let me play that for you.
Et quand j'aurai
yeah, I
3
know
fois
you're talking
mon
about,
âge qui s'en balancera pour de bon.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you in general found that you like this is similar to Christine the Queens for you, and you prefer Christine.
Yeah, and it's not. I think Christine and Queens. Maybe I don't know. Maybe not quite as sort of folky.
This is pretty folky. It's kind of slower and folkier. I like the driving, like with the chorus.
Je sais que c'est pas vrai, l'âge n'a pas d'or. Et si on devenait joyeux d'années,
Like that kind of
de
weird,
vieillard à mine d'or, de vieillard
Those
à
drums
mine
that
d'or.
sound like they go like, you know?
À quand les vieux qui poussent dans les jardins.
Yeah. I think and for me, it's just mainly just like that French. Like I could listen to this stuff all day. I mean, the French. God, if any French women want to come onto the show, let us know. You don't even have to make music. You can just hang out.
Talk.
John's a married man, but I'm single, so whatever. Okay, let's check out this third one. This is a "Ain't No Sunshine," which is a Bill Withers song. It's a jazz cover of it. So let's check this out. Oh, this is kind of cool, actually. Notes later. Yeah, what did you think about that?
Oh man, it's just so fucking the groove, man. It's just so good. The thing is like a lot of this stuff, I think, is weird. You can like it. If you didn't know any better, it could functionally be elevator music. But you're right. No, I'm just saying that like if you, it's got like the same instruments. And the same kind of, but like I think it. You sort of maybe I don't know. It feels obviously really like the musicians are like high quality, quality, very skilled, and like. Yeah, if you listen to jazz, most of the time that you listen to jazz like this, I'm always just like grooving. I'm like,
oh yeah,
like
yeah. Once you get that groove in jazz.
There's some jazz that you
boring
really
AF, but yeah. But this one, yeah, the groove. I mean, the groove in this.
I could probably not listen to this for like an hour.
I mean, in the Ain't No Sunshine, they just do a really good. It's just like obviously it's just a nice. And when jazz is covering a song that you just know, it's like easier for us non-deep people to get into it. Let's listen to that groove one more time from this.
And I think another thing that's important to remember is just like listening to the nuances in the drums are always like
yeah, like here 2 seconds ago he did like a tick 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 tick.
Yeah, the little like hi-hat sort of. Yeah, it's just super great. Classic.
There's a nice moment in here where they do here it is. That's like da 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 da. I just love that. Yeah.
I think you like the sort of rhythm part of that a lot. I love I love when songs take that sort of like repetitive note and just like do it till the end of time.
Yeah.
Like there's sometimes, especially, jazz is good at this because they're able to sort of keep the interest and, build on top of it. But there's a sound track that's just blood flows. Like the end of that track, he takes a vocal sample from, he sings a line, and at the very end of that, he takes a like just chop of his vocal sample and just like, and like he does that. They do that for like a minute, and it is awesome.
Yeah.
My wife hates it because it's repetitive.
Yeah.
But I like absolutely love it. Yeah.
This one definitely has those vibes, and this one has a really, talking about the variation, it does a really nice let's listen to that. Good stuff.
Yeah, it is great.
Okay, we're doing this last one called Frontin' Like Pharrell. This is, I think,
before we move on.
Okay.
The jazz thing reminded me of H. John Benjamin made an album called,
definitely going to feature that in the future. Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's I think it's
I can't play the piano.
Or I should have learned how to play the piano or something like. I forget the title of the album, but it's incredible. And he has no training at all with pianos or jazz piano at all. And he goes in and records an album with 3 very skilled jazz musicians, where they play the drums, the bass, and I think like a bit of a horn or something like that.
Yeah.
And you listen to it and you're like, man, is this intentional?
Is this good jazz? And it's hilarious. It's like 3 good people playing, and then one person just like hitting randomly on the piano. Yeah. It's good. It's I Can't Play the Piano by John H. Benjamin, and that'll definitely be a.
Yeah,
we should feature that in the future episode.
Also, in the meantime, Sub Pop has a great video on YouTube. It's like a 2.5 minute long video that sort of just is like the making of the album sort of thing, where it shows H. John Benjamin like trying to be creative, and it's so good. Yeah, we'll have to feature it in the future because it is truly unique.
The jazz, the non-jazz jazz, or the super jazzy jazz. So we're gonna do this final track here. It's called Frontin' Like Pharrell. I think this is from the international stuff, but it definitely was from the world stuff. But I'm not sure where it's coming from. But let's check it out.
I got sunshine where once was a dark cloud. Ain't no sense in trying to stop now. Colder than an iceberg, chilling in a freezer. Niggas run their mouth, I just hit them with the ether. Don't be mad, I ain't hit him with a feature. Don't nobody wanna hear you out they speakers. Say it with your chest, I can't hear you from the bleachers. I'm here balling like I'm Calvin in the sneakers, just like Mike. If you got close to me talking that shit, then I just might bite. Just my type. If you got an ass that could cause a car crash, then I just might wife. Trust my hype. I'm a bright star, I just need the right form to adjust my light. Don't fuss, don't fight. I ain't tryna hear that you niggas crying tears cause I up my price. You be frontin' like Pharrell. You ain't never had money, I could tell. You be acting mad funny, I could tell. You just want something from me, I could tell. You be frontin' like Pharrell. You ain't never had money, I could tell. You be acting mad funny, I could tell. You just want something from me, I could tell. Sunshine where once.
Yeah, what'd you think about that one?
Fun. It's I like his I know we don't listen to lyrics, but I think he
or she, it might be a she. I don't know.
She? Oh.
It sounds more like a she to me, but it sounds like more like a he to you. It sounds like.
Really? That's funny. Because I thought the like sort of like hype track was a she, and unknown. I mean, I could have fucked that up. Whoever it was is.
I think it's she. It looks like a she.
Oh, I'm an idiot.
Deja SB. In any case.
Perfect. But she, I think her lyrics are kind of reference a lot of what like happens in a lot of just like modern popular rap, where like they'll say something and then they'll be like use it, and it's always like analogies of like in this, like in that. But it felt unique, and I love the the front like Pharrell hype track, where like the sort of callback was almost like a question.
You front like Pharrell? What do you mean by that?
Front like Pharrell? Yeah, I am Ron Burgundy.
I think it's interesting that and I'm not sure if the fronting like it's the track title is front like Pharrell Williams, the artist, but I think that you could also be as like you'd be fronting like for real, you know, you'd be for real fronting right now. And I think it's trying to play in that space. I'm not sure.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, you'd be fronting like Pharrell.
Pharrell?
Yeah, and just boom.
Also, that synth that comes in at the very beginning is I cannot unhear. Did you ever play Gran Turismo 5?
A little bit, not really, but yeah.
This is like this little groove is a little bit different, but like that synth is everywhere in Gran Turismo 5, and so like, I mean, I think the dude who designed it, this Japanese guy who's honestly brilliant dude, but he like loves that sort of like almost elevator music kind of stuff, and that's just the entire fucking soundtrack.
Got it. Yeah. So Juan, what do you? I mean, so the tracks where there was the first one, you know. Okay, yeah. And then there was.
De vieillard à mine d'or, de vieillard à mine d'or.
Colder than an iceberg, chilling in a freezer.
So which one? What would you or how would you order them?
Oh my god. I don't know, man. I can't get enough of that jazz cover. I think that would probably end up at the top. I think, especially
Ain't No Sunshine, number one.
Yeah, I think then next one would be the Jungla del Asphalt.
The first one.
The first one, yeah.
Yeah.
Somos nocturnos.
Yeah.
And then I think probably the Montreal French track. And
oh, really? Huh.
Yeah.
This one.
Qui s'en balancera pour de bon.
I'm known to like sort of be a sucker for sort of pop.
Interesting. Pop, but I also think especially chill women vocals is a thing that you're into.
Totally. Yeah. And then I think probably the last track, and then number two.
Yeah.
Number two, the chorus is great. But I think it just the first part is just so. It just takes too long.
It takes a long time.
It's funny. I feel like tracks, like in general, I prefer tracks to be like 2 minutes and 35 seconds, period, no matter what's going on.
Uh-huh.
But then, like, I like, do you remember the Nivek album? Yeah, like slowly walking in circles around the house. I think that's the name of it. But yeah, it had like
13 minutes,
four tracks. Each of them was like 13 and 19 minutes long, and I like loved that album. And so maybe it's the thing of being like quite intentional with being like, hey, this is sort of what we're doing, you know. We're gonna sort of like try and get into the song and then make these like subtle movements through it, and you're gonna be here for a while. So get comfortable. Whereas like every 5-minute song that you hear probably could be 3 minutes and be better.
Yeah. 2 minutes or 12 minutes. That's
exactly.
Yeah.
Reverse bell curve. Yeah.
I think I would put it as Oh boy, I think Front Like Pharrell would be the bottom of mine, so I agree with you on that. For me, the second, the other one is in the top. Ain't No Sunshine's good, but might be the second to the bottom for me, just because I'm more into the world music these days. And although it's super good, but like the first, and then this one that we both put 2, I would put this 2. It's nice. Yeah, I think. Let me say one final thing on the slow build. There's a kind of a song, a rap song that exists with a slow build. I just want to play this Harder Than You Think by Public Enemy, which is a similar slow build, not as long, but similar vibes.
Yo, Chuck, what's the move, man? I was on my way up here to the studio, you know what I'm saying? And this brother stopped me and asked me, yo, what's up with that brother Chucky D? He swear he nice. I said, yo, the brother don't swear he nice. He knows he's nice, you know what I'm saying? So, Chuck, I got a feeling you turning into a public enemy, man. Now, remember that line you was kicking to me on the way out to L.A. Lounge in Queens while we was in the car on our way to the shop? Well, yo, right now, kick the bass for them brothers and let them know
what goes on. Rolling stones of the rap game, not bragging. Look bigger than Jagger, not sagging. Spell it backwards, I'ma leave it at that. That ain't got nothing to do with.
So, but that's, I mean, it's hard to beat that song. Similar-ish vibe where it's kind of like slow at the beginning and then gets
totally. Yeah. I mean, that track's so freaking good.
Super good.
Yeah.
Well, listeners, thank you for the album of the week, HAIM, album of the whatever, however often we make these at HAIM.
Album of the podcast.
Then we looked at texture music a bit, that Foley stuff. We looked at J-Zone, our boy Jay-Z with
It's
a trap. And then we looked at some 5 songs and had John rate them, So I hope you enjoyed it. John, do you want to say anything else for our listeners?
Hey, man, I don't know. Which album should we do next time?
Yeah, that's a good.
I think we should probably figure it out. I was thinking either 1,000 Gex, or we could of course return to H. John Benjamin's I Can't Play the Piano. But I mean, what are you feeling?
Both those would be great. My instinct is H. John Benjamin actually.
For sure.
The 100,000 or 100,000 Gex or whatever. I like it, or like it's 100 Gex is the artist, 1,000 Gex is the album, which is confusing. 10 Gex is the song name. The lead singer's name is 1 Gex. No, so H. John Benjamin would be a jam for me. And then we'll also, but if you have your own rating of how those 5 songs are in comparison to each other, or want us to check out an album or have songs that you want us to listen to,
let us know in whatever way we put this on the internet.
Exactly. Leave a comment below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button
and the like button or whatever we're doing.
Great. Well, thank you.
Does Vimeo have likes?
Yeah, exactly. They still haven't. That hasn't reached that part of the internet yet. Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks for listening, folks, and goodbye.